You know, Americans are getting ready for the Super Bowl, for this great big game, and you have two teams, the Seattle Seahawks versus the New England Patriots. Who do you think is going to win?
Well, I've watched them both during the season, and New England's amazing because to have a second coming is pretty good. Quarterbacks, both good. Seattle's an amazing comeback quarterback, and the other one's just an amazing quarterback. I think it's going to be a great game. You know, I like both areas of our country very much.
Breaking news. President Trump just slammed Bad Bunny's Super Bowl halftime performance as one of the worst shows in the history of America. He called it an affront to the greatness of America and a slap in the face to our country. Watch this report.
U.S. President Donald Trump criticized Bad Bunny's performance at the Super Bowl with a post on his own social media platform saying, quote, "The Super Bowl halftime show is absolutely terrible, one of the worst ever. It makes no sense, is an affront to the greatness of America, and doesn't represent our standards of success, creativity, or excellence."
But President Trump also said he thought the Super Bowl would be a great game because both the Seattle Seahawks and the New England Patriots had strong teams and good quarterbacks. He also gave praise to Bob Kraft, owner of the New England Patriots, and to Bill Belichick, head coach of the New England Patriots.
I think it's going to be a really great game. Seattle's had an amazing season.
Yeah, strong defense.
New England has a great tradition of winning. And Bob Kraft's done a fantastic job. You know, the whole thing is really, it's going to be very exciting. The quarterback situation's interesting.
They're great. They're both great.
Both great.
That leads me to my next question. You have a really good relationship with the Patriots, including the former head coach, Bill Belichick.
Right.
What did you think when he was snubbed on the first ballot of the Hall of Fame?
I thought it was terrible. I mean, he's won so much, won so many Super Bowls, great coach. Became a little bit controversial, I guess, after that. His little period after that. During it, he was just a great coach. I thought it was very inappropriate.
You think he deserves it, the Hall of Fame?
Oh, yeah. It's like, what have you done for me lately? Well,
Trump has watched the Super Bowl show from the White House with friends. Super Bowl, the USA's biggest annual sporting event, kicked off to a boring start, with NFL fans moaning about a defensive struggle between the Seattle Seahawks and New England Patriots, which saw not a single touchdown in the first half of the game. But if there was little excitement in the game, there were plenty outside the playing field. America's most watched television event is not just about sports, it's about culture. And the 2026 Super Bowl once again captured the country's zeitgeist. Now, we are joined by retorter Jules Geisler, who said the reasons behind Trump's inclusive notion of Bad Bunny performing mainly in Spanish and his outspoken criticism of immigration policies in the United States could be the basis for the legitimacy of the MAGA label.
First of all, Trump announced 4 months ago when the NFL said Bad Bunny is going to be the artist performing the halftime show, Trump said, "I don't even know who that guy is." So he even refused to acknowledge that he exists. Then ahead of the Super Bowl, Bad Bunny came out with an ad saying in Spanish, all in Spanish, announcing to the people watching, you got 4 months in total to learn Spanish and to learn what I'm just saying and to understand my lyrics. And then even Duolingo, the language platform, reacted to this and organized an all-Spanish course just based on him and his lyrics. So among MAGA supporters, this caused a massive outcry.
Many supporters of the MAGA movement have labeled the halftime show un-American in nature. And in protest of the event, Turning Point USA held an alternative event featuring Kid Rock, which was publicly supported by Trump. As explained by online reporter Jules Geisler, the halftime show provided a significant cultural context. Bad Bunny opened the 13-minute set by walking through the sugarcane fields as a tribute to the labor efforts of Puerto Rican workers, emphasizing self-belief as he walked.
They said it cannot be that an artist is refusing to sing in English and have an all-Spanish program. They said this cannot be. And they then even, Turning Point USA, the MAGA-friendly organization, organized a counter-event with headliner Kid Rock, calling it the All-American Halftime Show, and Trump then announced he would watch this one instead. So Bad Bunny has been very vocal about criticizing ICE and the crackdown on immigrant communities, and he also refused to do a concert on his world tour in the United States because he was afraid that ICE would actually arrest some of his supporters.
Throughout his performance, Bad Bunny waved the Puerto Rican flag. Furthermore, Bad Bunny gave one of his Grammy Awards to a young boy and emphasized the importance of this boy as he represents a new generation of Latinos. He supports the idea of unity.
He came out saying, I'm Benito Antonio Martinez Ocasio, and I'm performing here at the Super Bowl halftime show because I stayed true to myself, and I always believed in myself, and I want you to do the same. So he really spoke to a Latin community out there. What was also shown then when he handed over his Grammy to a young child, and then people have been rumouring about it could be seen as him as a child dreaming of this moment, or more like showing this to a new generation of Latinos now growing up with a different understanding and self-identity so that they could actually win these prizes. So we saw him waving the Puerto Rican flag, what is a symbol in itself, because it has been forbidden and illegal between 1948 and 1952. So people were actually murdered and arrested.
Bad Bunny's halftime performance during the Super Bowl was a tribute to his home country of Puerto Rico and a declaration of pride in his country and all of the Americas, with an appeal for unity between Puerto Rico and the United States. Bad Bunny had a 14-minute set with special guests such as Lady Gaga and Ricky Martin, and other well-known actors and musicians, including Pedro Pascal, Cardi B, Karol G, and Jessica Alba, dancing on the porch of Bad Bunny's famous casita, the set project designed as a representation of a traditional Puerto Rico house. President Donald Trump has not attended Super Bowl LX in Santa Clara, California. According to former White House Chief of Staff Mick Mulvaney, analysts say the decision may be influenced by the location in Democratic-leaning California and potential backlash over the halftime performance.
Of course, we've been talking about the Super Bowl. What kind of reception is Trump expected to get at the Super Bowl? I assume he's going.
Actually, the last I read is that he's not.
Wow, that's unusual, isn't
it? A little bit. Keep in mind, it is in California, and there's a long way. So it's Perth to Sydney is not close. Neither is New York to or Washington to Air Force
One.
San Francisco.
Not too bad though, Mick, I would say.
Listen, it is in California. It is Gavin Newsom, the Democrat governor's backyard. Yeah. It is a fairly liberal place. You hear the chatters and the rumors that maybe he's not going because he doesn't want to get booed, etc. But he is not going, and I think that's probably going to make a little bit of news.
Bad Bunny is set to headline the Super Bowl halftime show for the first time. However, when he was announced as a performer at the mega event, some conservative circles have expressed disagreement over the choice of Bad Bunny headlining the Super Bowl halftime show. Major figure slams Bad Bunny ahead of Super Bowl halftime show. Caroline Levitt on Bad Bunny. Trump will prefer Kid Rock. Bad Bunny is set to headline the Super Bowl halftime show for the first time. However, when he was announced as a performer at the mega event, he received a mixed response. In light of this, Caroline Levitt, the White House press secretary, shares that President Donald Trump will watch the TPUSA show over the Monaco hitmaker's performance in Santa Clara, California. I think the president would much prefer a Kid Rock performance over Bad Bunny. I must say that, she suggests during the press briefing. Now let's see this report.
So President Trump watched Bad Bunny's halftime show, and he was clearly up in his feelings about it. He said, quote, "Nobody understands a word this guy is saying." Okay, first of all, I don't speak Spanish either, but I have eyes. And when it comes to what I just watched with Bad Bunny, I'm pretty fluent in Bad Bunny here. I understood everything I needed to understand. The hips. Sorry you were there trying to listen to the lyrics. Most of us were just kind of having a religious experience. Trump also called the dancing, quote, "disgusting, especially for young children."
President Donald Trump blasted the performance on Truth Social. He said this is worse and has no quality. Also disgusting for young people.
Maybe it's just me. He also said that he wants to bring back, and I quote, "America's standards of success, creativity, and excellence." I just want Bad Bunny to bring back those pants. I want him to wear them often and a lot. He ended with his standard "Make America Great Again." I'm gonna counter it with "Make Bad Bunny perform again." And longer this time. Maybe just skip the game and just have it be an hour and a half of Bad Bunny doing that. Is that how long games are? I don't understand football. Anyway, 10 out of 10. I would not understand a single word again. And based on the internet's reaction to it all, I have a feeling a lot of people agree with me. This isn't political. We all just have eyes. But let me know what you think in the comments.
President Donald Trump attacked Bad Bunny's Super Bowl halftime show, which was mostly performed in Spanish. and celebrated Latino culture in a lengthy post on Truth Social, echoing months of right-wing anger over the NFL's decision to pick the Puerto Rican singer who has previously criticized the Trump administration's immigration crackdown. Bad Bunny is out. Kid Rock is in, as far as President Donald Trump's Super Bowl halftime show preference. That's according to White House spokesman Caroline Leavitt, who was asked at Thursday's briefing which show Trump would be broadcasting at his Mar-a-Lago resort.
Just one more about this weekend. At the Mar-a-Lago Super Bowl party, after the first 2 quarters, are the TVs going to be on the halftime show with Bad Bunny or the halftime show with Kid Rock?
I think the president would much prefer a Kid Rock performance over Bad Bunny, I must say that. And I hope everybody has a good weekend. Happy Super Bowl weekend. The president has wisely chosen not to make a prediction in Sunday night's game, but as a native girl from New Hampshire, go Patriots. Thank you, guys.
There was a conservative halftime show produced by Turning Point USA that was an all-American halftime show with headliner Kid Rock, who supports President Trump. The president did not mention this show in any of his posts, and it is also unclear whether he even watched this show. As for how many people viewed this show live, that figure is unknown to date, although the YouTube live stream archive had 17 million views by the original publication date. A number of the top comments referenced Bad Bunny's performance, with the statement, "The only thing stronger than hatred is love." Kid Rock received mixed reviews for his performance, with respect to lip-syncing poorly when performing his songs. Rep. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, whose mother is from Puerto Rico, hailed Bad Bunny's performance, tweeting, "Boricua Bowl, let's go," followed by Puerto Rican flags. California Governor Gavin Newsom tweeted, "Thank you, Bad Bunny, for taking the California stage and using your voice at Super Bowl. A beautiful moment together. We are America." The last line was in reference to a message written on a ball the singer held up to close his performance. Fellow Grammy winner Casey Musgraves tweeted, "Well, that made me feel more proudly American than anything Kid Rock has ever done." Social media influencers and brothers Jake and Logan Paul, who now reside in Puerto Rico, had very different reactions to the show. The younger brother and boxer Jake Paul wrote on X, purposefully turning off the halftime show. "Let's rally together and show big corporations they can't just do whatever they want without consequences. Turn off this halftime. A fake American citizen who publicly hates America. I cannot support that. Bad Bunny, like other Puerto Ricans, is an American citizen." Logan Paul commented on his brother's post and wrote, "I love my brother, but I don't agree with this. Puerto Ricans are Americans, and I'm happy they were given the opportunity to showcase the talent that comes from the island." Bad Bunny had a huge show with guest stars such as Lady Gaga, Ricky Martin, Karol G, Cardi B, Pedro Pascal, Jessica Alba, Young Miko, and more. It had a young child who was the apparent winner of a Grammy for Album of the Year. This child was thought to be 5-year-old Liam Ramos, who had recently been taken into custody by ICE in Minnesota. But TMZ later reported that the child was actually acting in a role as Lincoln Fox. Visuals highlighted hard-working Puerto Rican entrepreneurs, barbers, food truck owners, jewelers, and street vendors celebrating the often overlooked communities that help shape America. Surprise celebrity appearances included Cardi B, Pedro Pascal, Karol G, Jessica Alba, and influencer Alex Earl. Lady Gaga also made a cameo by performing Die With a Smile, her hit collaboration with Bruno Mars, reimagined with a Latin flair. Here are some brief facts about the singer.
We have some news right now. We have some awesome details about Bad Bunny's historic halftime performance that I think everyone needs to know about, so spread the word. First up, remember this moment where there was a wedding in the middle of the show? Well, Variety has confirmed that this wedding was actually a real wedding that happened in the middle of the Bad Bunny show. The couple actually, apparently, according to NBC Sports, invited Bad Bunny to their wedding, and in turn, he allowed them to get married during his performance. In addition, throughout the performance, you saw businesses like these. They're all actually real businesses that Bad Bunny decided to feature. For example, this is the Caribbean Social Club. According to The Guardian, Bad Bunny featured this. This is one of the last surviving Puerto Rican clubs in all of New York City. And right here, Villa's Tacos, that's a real taco stand that Bad Bunny decided to feature in his performance. This is located in Los Angeles, according to The Guardian. It was a really historic halftime performance, and it really united a whole lot of people. And I think the world needs to know some of the details that went into putting this halftime performance together. So As always, spread the word and follow along for all the news you need to know about. I'll have more soon.
A halftime performance by Puerto Rico's Bad Bunny has created controversy among Trump supporters. Bad Bunny did much of his show in Spanish, spoke about U.S. immigration issues, waved a Puerto Rican flag, and paid tribute to Latinos who work in the United States. Trump's reaction included several comments on social media, calling the show completely dishonest and un-American. He referred to his presence at the Super Bowl as one of the biggest lewd acts ever committed by a president in the history of the world. And Turning Point USA, an extreme right-wing group, also organized another show with Kid Rock. Whether or not they are political issues aside, the NFL's goal of reaching out to younger, more diverse fans seems to have been successful since Bad Bunny's performance was so popular with the millions of people who watched it live. Mulvaney added that Trump's absence from Super Bowl activities is not unusual, but most likely deliberate, because he would have received a lot of bad press from the local crowd had he been there. This indicates the continuing growth in the relationship between sports, entertainment, and politics in America. Bad Bunny's halftime performance at Super Bowl LVS paid tribute to both Puerto Rico and the spirit of collective identity for Puerto Ricans around the globe. Meanwhile, President Donald Trump derided the performance as anti-American and expressed his favor towards a different performance from the conservative group, the Turning Point USA, featuring Kid Rock. These differing reactions demonstrate how interconnected sports, entertainment, and politics remain in America today. That's all for today. See you in the next headlines.